We are now just 128 days away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to be filled with revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications within this story, of course, by director J.J. Abrams and even creator George Lucas, to give us a better view of the Skywalker saga and to really change how we view all 8 Star Wars films that come before this one, which, like I've always expressed before in the past, could very well be a good or a bad thing for the franchise. It's all a matter of how it's going to be executed and organized. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of Rey traveling toward a large structure that is said to be built into a large canyon that is described to have once been the home of her father's many years ago. It's described that eventually Rey makes it to the building where she eventually makes her way down toward the basement, where she discovers many secrets of her father that were locked away many years ago by himself. It's explained that one of the sequences includes a moment in which Rey discovers an audio transmission of her father, where it's revealed that Rey's father explains that Palpatine at one point in time in his life had discovered Luke's severed hand in between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where it's said, however, that Palpatine kept it frozen and locked away on Jakku in his observatory and in his secret laboratory. However, no saber came with the hand. It's unclear as to why Palpatine kept Luke's hand frozen inside of his lab, where after Palpatine's death and during the Battle of Jakku, it was moved and shipped from Jakku to another world for a specific reason that will be unveiled in Episode 9. It said that Rey's father studied Luke's hand many times during his life on Jakku, even after the Emperor's death. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and why I believe this is more so a nice little nod to that of the expanded universe. Now, what I like about the EU is that we do have moments somewhat like this that are going to be inserted into Episode 9. So one of which, we have a sequence in where we have an audio transmission playing before Rey, where it consists of her father talking about Palpatine and what he did in between the events of Empire and Return of the Jedi, and even after his death, of what parts of his legacy were left behind and what Rey's father was trying to protect. And one of this was, of course, Luke Skywalker's severed hand. Now, not only is this like a nice little homage to the EU, also known as Star Wars Legends, but this is also a little nod to J.J. Abrams' original opening of The Force Awakens. And this is legitimate. In case you guys did not know, J.J. Abrams originally wanted to open The Force Awakens with Luke Skywalker's severed hand holding the Skywalker saber, falling down to the surface of Jakku, where the hand would burn up through the atmosphere and the saber would hit the sand and stick and stay into the sand for years on end until somebody discovered it. So it seems like J.J. Abrams is really trying to expand off of that original opening scene of The Force Awakens that never made it to the final cut, that is now going to be implemented somewhat by reference in Episode 9. So, what does this really mean? Why did Palpatine have Luke Skywalker's severed hand in between the events of Episodes 5 and 6? What's really going on here? Does it have something to do with cloning or DNA extraction? Or could it very well have something to do with just Palpatine trying to maybe find something very specific about Luke Skywalker's DNA in order to emulate his power? You know, that's another possibility. Again, this could very well be a simple little nod to the EU for the hardcore fans around the world, or this is going to be a bigger reveal than ever before than we have ever expected. The thing that gets me, however, is that it's said to eventually be explained as we go through the movie from start to finish as to why Palpatine held on to Luke Skywalker's severed hand and why he froze it inside of his lab on Jakku. In case you guys did not know this, and in case you guys did not read the books, such as Empire's End and all those different ones like Aftermath, you do learn that there was a Jakku observatory where Palpatine kept a lot of his relics hidden away in there, as well as hyperspace routes to the unknown regions, and he had a personal laboratory there where they were experimenting stuff. Very interesting, I gotta say, and I find it very strange as to why Rey was abandoned on the world of Jakku as well. It just seems like a big coincidence, right? So, with that being said, this is a great nod once again to the EU. It's a great way to really bring in the character of Rey's father, to link him with the character of Palpatine and Luke at the same exact time, as well as giving us a little bit of foreshadowing of what's coming our way, right? It seems like that they're really trying to stay true to Star Wars Legends material in order to really make a lot of hardcore fans very happy, because let's face it, a lot of fans that saw Star Wars, back in the 70s and the 80s, definitely grew up and read all the material related to the EU in the 1990s into the early 2000s, etc., even the younger kids, right? So, anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.